Good morning. Hello. West Tennessee Dave here, live to you from Twitch at 6:33 Central Time. I hope you are having an excellent day. And if you are watching on a VOD at a later point, hello, good day to whenever you are here, whether you're on YouTube or on Twitch later. Good to see you. Hope you guys are well. It's good to see you all. Okay, let's get into it. We are starting a new book in the Bible. We are starting a whole new adventure of the storyline starting today. And we are going to be hanging out with the guy that we meet today for quite a while. We've been doing this now for just about a month, about 3 days a week. And I think we might hang out with this guy for almost 2 months is my guess. So I'm just purely guessing, but we're gonna get used to this new guy. So I'm not even gonna spoil his name. You'll hear in just a minute. But we're starting a new book of the Bible, Exodus, today, chapters 1 through about half of 4. So yes, it is a new chapter. Sometimes we need a new chapter. Sometimes the story goes on, and we're about to hear it. So let's get reading, and then we will yap and talk, and hopefully gain some life application or clarity or whatever from these stories. Let's take a quick sip of coffee before we start. Okay. These are the names of the sons of Israel, that is Jacob, who moved to Egypt with their father, each with his family: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. In all, Jacob had 70 descendants in Egypt, including Joseph, who was already there. In time, Joseph and all of his brothers died, ending that entire generation. But their descendants, the Israelites, had many children and grandchildren. In fact, they multiplied so greatly that they became extremely powerful and filled the land. Eventually, a new king came to power in Egypt who knew nothing about Joseph or what he had done. He said to his people, "Look, the people of Israel now outnumber us and are stronger than we are. We must make a plan to keep them from growing even more. If we don't, and if war breaks out, they will join our enemies and fight against us. Then they will escape from this country." So the Egyptians made the Israelites their slaves. They appointed brutal slave drivers over them, hoping to wear them down with crushing labor. They forced them to build the cities of Pithom and Ramses as supply centers for the king. But the more the Egyptians oppressed them, the more the Israelites multiplied and spread, and the more alarmed the Egyptians became. So the Egyptians worked the people of Israel without mercy. They made their lives bitter, forcing them to mix mortar and make bricks and do all the work in the fields. They were ruthless in all their demands. Then Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, gave this order to the Hebrew midwives, Shiphrah, and Puah. "When you help the Hebrew women as they give birth, watch as they deliver. If the baby is a boy, kill him. If it's a girl, let her live." But because the midwives feared God, they refused to obey the king's orders. They allowed the boys to live too. So the king of Egypt called for the midwives. "Why have you done this?" he demanded. "Why have you allowed the boys to live?" "The Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women," the midwives replied. "They are more vigorous and have their babies so quickly that we cannot get there in time." So God was good to the midwives, and the Israelites continued to multiply, growing more and more powerful. And because the midwives feared God, he gave them families of their own. Then Pharaoh gave this order to all of his people: throw every newborn Hebrew boy into the Nile River, but you may let the girls live. About this time, a man and a woman from the tribe of Levi got married. The woman became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She saw that he was a special baby and kept him hidden for 3 months. But when she could no longer hide him, she got a basket made out of papyrus reeds and waterproofed it with tar and pitch. She put the baby in the basket and laid it among the reeds along the bank of the Nile River. The baby's sister then stood at a distance watching to see what would happen to him. Soon Pharaoh's daughter came down to bathe in the river, and her attendants walked along the river bank. When the princess saw the basket among the reeds, she sent her maid to get it for her. When the princess opened it, she saw the baby. The little boy was crying, and she felt sorry for him. "This must be one of the Hebrew children," she said. Then the baby's sister approached the princess. "Should I go and find one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?" she asked. "Yes, do," the princess replied. So the girl went and called the baby's mother. "Take this baby and nurse him for me," the princess told the baby's mother. "I will pay you for your help." So the woman took her baby home and nursed him. Later, when the boy was older, his mother brought him back to Pharaoh's daughter, who adopted him as her own son. The princess named him Moses, for she explained, "I lifted him out of the water." Many years later, when Moses had grown up, he went out to visit his own people, the Hebrews, and he saw how hard they were forced to work. During his visit, he saw an Egyptian beating one of his fellow Hebrews. After looking in all directions to make sure no one was watching, Moses killed the Egyptian and hid the body in the sand. The next day, when Moses went out to visit his people again, he saw 2 Hebrew men fighting. "Why are you beating up your friend?" Moses said to the one who had started the fight. The man replied, "Who appointed you to be our prince and judge? Are you going to kill me as you killed the Egyptian yesterday?" Then Moses was afraid, thinking, "Everyone knows what I did." And sure enough, Pharaoh heard what had happened, and he tried to kill Moses. But Moses fled from Pharaoh and went to live in the land of Midian. When Moses arrived in Midian, he sat down beside a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters who came as usual to draw water and fill the water troughs for their father's flocks. But some of the other shepherds came and chased them away. So Moses jumped up and rescued the girls from the shepherds. Then he drew water for their flocks. When the girls returned to Reuel, their father, he asked, "Why are you back so soon today?" When the girl and an Egyptian rescued us from the shepherds, they answered, and then he drew water for us and watered our flocks. "And where is he?" the father asked. "Why did you leave him there? Invite him to come eat with us." Moses accepted the invitation, and he settled there with him. In time, Reuel gave Moses his daughter Zipporah to be his wife. Later, she gave birth to a son, and Moses named him Gershom, for he explained, "I have been a foreigner in a foreign land." Years passed, and the king of Egypt died, but the Israelites continued to groan under the burden of slavery. They cried out for help, and their cry rose up to God. God heard their groaning, and he remembered his covenant promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He looked down on the people of Israel and knew it was time to act. One day, Moses was tending the flock of his father-in-law, Jethro, the priest of Midian. He led the flock far into the wilderness and came to Sinai, the mountain of God. There, the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a blazing fire from the middle of a bush. Moses stared in amazement. Though the bush was engulfed in flames, it didn't burn up. "This is amazing," Moses said to himself. "Why isn't that bush burning up? I must go see it." When the Lord saw Moses coming to take a closer look, God called to him from the middle of the bush, Moses, Moses. Here I am, Moses replied. Do not come any closer, the Lord warned. Take off your sandals, for you are standing on holy ground. I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. When Moses heard this, he covered his face because he was afraid to look at God. Then the Lord told him, I have certainly seen the oppression of my people in Egypt. I have heard their cries of distress because of their harsh slave drivers. Yes, I am aware of their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the power of the Egyptians and lead them out of Egypt into their own fertile and spacious land. It is a land flowing with milk and honey, the land where the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites now live. Look, the cry of the people of Israel has reached me, and I have seen how harshly the Egyptians abuse them. Now go, for I am sending you to Pharaoh. You must lead my people Israel out of Egypt. But Moses protested to God, Who am I to appear before Pharaoh? Who am I to lead the people of Israel out of Egypt? God answered, I will be with you, and this is your sign that I am the one who has sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God at this very mountain. But Moses protested, If I go to the people of Israel and tell them, The God of your ancestors has sent me to you, they will ask me, What is his name? Then what should I tell them? God replied to Moses, I am who I am. Say this to the people of Israel, I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, Say this to the people of Israel, Yahweh, the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my eternal name, my name to remember for all generations. Now go and call together all the elders of Israel. Tell them, Yahweh, the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, has appeared to me, he told me. I have been watching closely, and I see how the Egyptians are treating you. I have promised to rescue you from your oppression in Egypt. I will lead you to a land flowing with milk and honey, the land where the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites now live. The elders of Israel will accept your message. Then you and the elders must go to the king of Egypt and tell him, The Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has met with us. So please let us take a 3-day journey into the wilderness to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God. But I know that the king of Egypt will not let you go unless a mighty hand forces him. So I will raise my hand and strike the Egyptians, performing all kinds of miracles among them. Then at last he will let you go, and I will cause the Egyptians to look favorably on you. They will give you gifts when you go, so you will not leave empty-handed. Every Israelite woman will ask for articles of silver and gold and fine clothing from her Egyptian neighbors, and from the foreign women in their houses. You will dress your sons and daughters with these, stripping the Egyptians of their wealth. But Moses protested again. What if they won't believe me or listen to me? What if they say, The Lord never appeared to you? Then the Lord asked him, What is that in your hand? A shepherd's staff, Moses replied. Throw it down on the ground, the Lord told him. So Moses threw down the staff, and it turned into a snake. Moses jumped back. Then the Lord told him, Reach out and grab its tail. So Moses reached out and grabbed it, and it turned back into a shepherd's staff in his hand. Perform this sign, the Lord told him. Then they will believe that the Lord, the God of their ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, really has appeared to you. Then the Lord said to Moses, Now put your hand inside your cloak. So Moses put his hand inside his cloak. And when he took it out again, his hand was as white as snow with a severe skin disease. Now, put your hand back into your cloak, the Lord said. So Moses put his hand back in. And when he took it out again, it was as healthy as the rest of his body. The Lord said to Moses, "If they do not believe you and are not convinced by the first miraculous sign, they will be convinced by the second sign. And if they don't believe you or listen to you even after these two signs, then take some water from the Nile River and pour it on the dry ground. When you do, the water from the Nile will turn to blood on the ground." Moses pleaded with the Lord, "O Lord, I'm not very good with words. I never have been. And I'm not now, even though you have spoken to me. I get tongue-tied, and my words get tangled." Then the Lord asked Moses, "Who makes a person's mouth? Who decides whether people speak or do not speak, hear or do not hear, see or do not see? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, I will be with you as you speak, and I will instruct you in what to say." But Moses again pleaded, "Lord, please send anyone else." Then the Lord became angry with Moses. "All right," he said. "What about your brother Aaron the Levite? I know he speaks well. And look, he is on his way to meet you now. He will be delighted to see you." All right, we're going to stop right there for today. So our new center of attention in this story is Moses. And we have his epic origin story. More story, less time. Yeah, so we have covered a lot of actual time throughout the storyline of the entire story of the Bible. And now we are really going to be slowing down because we're going to be talking about this storyline for quite a while. Yes, so more story, less time. Exactly. Oh, man. There are so many cool parts to this story. I mean, there's some pretty tragic parts of the story too. Obviously, we have talked over and over and over again about jealousy and what that makes people do. And here again, we just see this same storyline playing out with the Egyptians. So the king of Egypt is jealous, concerned about the people of Israel, that they're becoming more powerful, right? The desire to be greater than a people group or a person. And what does it make him do? He's like, let's just kill all the baby boys. Like, why does this go through people's head? I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, I guess I do, but I'm just a little bit more of a pacifist myself. Like, the idea to, like, let's kill others so that we can become more powerful. That makes us more powerful to kill others. Just, I don't know. I don't know where we get that in our hearts. Like, this is a great strategy. I guess I like people too much. I like community. I know sometimes I have differences with people, but to think like, oh, let's just get rid of them. I don't know. Just But it's a thread throughout all these stories. Uh, it's a thread throughout these stories, and I don't have to say much more about that. So, anyways, there's something I was just inspired me a little bit. So Moses's mother, well, the baby's mother. This is really interesting too, because it said that the Pharaoh's daughter, the princess, actually named the baby Moses. So maybe the mother named him something else. Maybe the mother never named him because she knew that this edict was out from the Pharaoh to throw all the babies into the river, right? The edict was out from Pharaoh that the Egyptians could take any Hebrew boy and throw them in the river. Right? And so it wasn't against the law, it was law. So they were supposed to be doing this. And she just, she's a mom. She's in love with her son. She sees how beautiful he is and doesn't want this to happen. Tries to hide a baby as long as you can. I mean, babies are messy and they cry. Now, when they're very little, and probably even back in this day, and like obviously in today's age, after a mom gives birth, right? She needs time to recover. She needs time to recover, time to nurse her child if she nurses. So they probably don't go anywhere. I don't know what kind of shelters or housings they live in, or how often, people, Egyptians, are coming into the homes of the Hebrew people, but I guess you could probably keep a baby pretty quiet for a little bit. But if they're killing every baby boy, eventually he's going to be bigger, he's going to be growing. Like, you're going to have to leave your tent or your housing or your dwelling at some point. You just can't stay there forever. And so she takes it into her own hands to do the throwing into the river, but in a way that is pretty clever. Right? She makes this basket and tars it, pitches it, basically makes like this little boat and puts the baby in the river in hope, I guess, in hope that something better is going to happen to him. Right? Otherwise, you just throw him in. I mean, I just can't imagine throwing your own kid in the river or let an Egyptian do it. But she takes a route, and maybe this was a route that a lot of them took. I don't know, but she took this route here, puts the baby in a basket, and somehow the baby and the basket find their way to the princess of Egypt, and you see that Moses gets some salvation there, which is just pretty cool because I don't know, like the daughter of the king who's ordered this is like, she just feels pity and sympathy and says, I want the kid. Right? So, maybe woman to woman, like, oh, I just feel the sympathy to take care of a kid, and somehow it magically landed in my lap. I want this. So there's like still some heart to people, right? Like, not everyone, even that's an Egyptian, probably loves this edict, right? I mean, you have a king that is freaking out for no reason, or just seeing, you know, thinking that he might be overthrown, and basically in jealousies, trying to do something to handle it, but not everyone's on board, which is great. So Moses is saved, but I just find it interesting that actually Moses, right? It says Moses is the name given by Pharaoh because she drew him out of the water. And mom doesn't actually give a name, which, I mean, man, to have a kid for 3 months and not name the kid seems really strange. Okay, so then we fast forward a little bit. Pharaoh, he's now become, an adopted grandkid of the Pharaoh, if you will. You saw that whole story of he's trying to make sure that people don't do bad things, which I like. I mean, I love the story, but then he kills an Egyptian, tries to hide it. It doesn't actually go as well as he thought, and he has to run and flee. Okay. It's fair. I mean, I guess I would probably flee in that time frame as well, knowing that you killed somebody. You were trying to do what was right, maybe, and stop like a beating, but you're now in the crosshairs. And now the Lord comes to him later on in life and says, go back to the king of Egypt. Go back there and tell him to release my people. Go back. You're going to do it. And Moses is like, no, I don't want to do that. That's a bad idea. Please send somebody else, right? So human. So the story of so many of our own lives. No, God, do it. Just give it to somebody else to do. I don't want to do it, right? I've got my own baggage from Egypt. Like, I barely escaped with my life, and you want me to go back there and ask the guy who was jealous and was thinking he's going to be overthrown to just release the people? The guy's a killer. Well, I mean, that don't make no sense to me. I don't want to do it. I get what Moses is doing here. Like, please, I use every excuse in the book. I don't want to do it. I'm out. No, send somebody else. So I get all of that, but if God calls us to do something, shouldn't we want to do it? Shouldn't we feel like God's with us? I mean, he even says, I'll be with you. Is that enough for us to do something, even though we just really don't want to? Even though we're scared, is that enough? Can we come to that place? Can I come to that place? And we're all going to have to be there at times, I think. And so I get it. I get what Moses is going through. Like, that don't make sense. Yeah, exactly. It don't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. I prefer in my own, self-preservation to say, just send somebody else. Go ahead. That put their life on the line, right? Like, to be willing to willingly put yourself in a situation where you feel like you could lose your life. And I feel like that's where Moses is. He's like, my life is in complete and utter danger if I do this. And the only way that that would work is if God rescues me. But also God is telling me to do it. Like, I need both. God has to promise he's going to, as he says, be with me and take care of me, right? And God promises him, he goes, look, you go do this, you're going to come back to this mountain. You're going to come right back here where you feel like it's safe, and you're going to worship me. And I know that you have all those. He knows Moses is fearful. He knows that I'm fearful, and we're all fearful, right? It is healthy. It's a healthy fear of the dangers. Yet, God wants him to do this thing. God wants him to do this thing. He wants to set his people free. And Moses is like, nah, it's not me, man. I'm not the guy. I mean, I think that can speak to a lot of us too. I'm not the guy, Lord. I'm not the guy, God. Send somebody else to do that job. I'll sit comfortably at my desk here, not bothering in it. Not bothering anyone. Not me. It's such a real place and a real challenging place to know that we're not different than these characters. We're very similar. And I get it. I get the fear. I get the reservations. We kind of cliffhangered it here. We don't know. Does he choose? Does he not, right? We'll have to wait till Tuesday morning to find out. But the Lord was angry with Moses for him not wanting to do this. So when God invites us into something, are we going to say yes, or are we going to just lurk in fear? And man, I've done both. I've said yes at times, and I've lurked in fear. Just sometimes you won't know what's going to happen until you do it. So try not to let the fear overwhelm what you know is right and what God wants you to do. Okay, easier said than done. Let's see what happens with this story. As I said, we're going to hang out with Moses for quite a while, so it'd be a pretty boring story if he just said no and didn't do anything. I don't know what we would talk about. So, little spoiler, you could probably guess that which way he chooses. Okay, I'm going to need to get a shade going forward. Man, that sun is right there. It's really like getting to me. You don't struggle to find things to talk about? Okay. What about you guys? Anything that inspired you, challenged you about this word, this part of the story? The origin story here of Moses. Maybe it inspires you of your origin story of something. Let me know what you all think It made you ruminate on internal faith regardless of evidence. Oh, yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. You're right. Rods to snakes. I mean, okay. I mean, this is just convicting as I say it out loud. We heard at the very beginning of all the stories, God created all the animals. So he created snakes. And I was just saying, like, why are we jealous of people groups or some other group, and we want to make ourselves better, right? And same with animals. Like, animals are animals, right? I, back to healthy fears. I mean, I guess I have a healthy fear of snakes. I'm not a big fan, to be honest. They're not my favorite animal by any means. And for sure, I don't think it would inspire me to throw down a stick and it become a snake, and then I have to pick the thing up by a tail. That is not inspiring me at all. Okay, that's not inspiration for me. Now maybe it was for Moses. Maybe he had seen a lot of snakes. He had done this before. But for me, that's not helping a storyline. Okay? These are small little details. Um, again, I think God is personal, so he knows this. Like, that part of the story. And then I have to go do this again. Like, please, just let it be a staff. I don't want this thing to become a snake anymore. Please. I like a little distance from me and snakes. Probably like I'd like a little distance from me and the guy who wants to kill me. That just me. Like, I don't really want to be in his presence. And you're gonna disease my hand. Cool. Like, this isn't very inspiring. Put it in my cloak and it's diseased. Put it back. It's not. Like, this is weird. What is that? Just not. I'm not getting. I'm with Moses here. Please send somebody else. These two things don't make me inspired. Oh, I don't know. Like, and just being honest, that's not that's not inspirational to me. Um, I don't know all the history there. We'll get into it a little bit later, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know what sign would be the one I need or what the people need, right? He's actually giving this sign maybe to the rest of the Israelites. uh shouldn't you be happy to do his demands? Moses. No. No, I don't want to do these things. Please. Please, this is already strange. Like, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe it is supposed to be strange, right? We see a bush burning and not burning up. I mean, that would intrigue me. That would definitely intrigue me. Now I'm talking to God in some new way, and sticks are becoming snakes and my skin is becoming diseased and not diseased. Okay, like, there is some, like, supernatural things happening here. And I guess maybe that could be kind of like inspiring, like, ooh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, like, the guy still wants to kill me, God. Let's be real. The guy wants to kill me. I don't I'm a self-preservationist, Like, just let me be. Yeah, self-preservation is not what God wants to be our storyline most of the time. Ooh. How often do I pick self-preservation over some other part of faith, experience, anything else? I'm gonna ask those questions to myself. Yeah, the end goal is generally not self-preservation. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna leave it there. Leave it at that little point. I'm gonna have to think about that all day. Think about how that applies really to my life in other areas. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for continuing on the journey of the scripture and the stories with me. I appreciate it. We'll finish this one off. We'll finish this storyline off. Well, we're not going to finish this storyline off for a long time. So let's continue it on Tuesday morning. Thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate it. Next Tuesday, 6:33. Hopefully I'll get a curtain before then so that you can see me. And yeah, it was great seeing you all. West Tennessee Dave here. Thanks for hanging out. Until next time. Love you all.